Welcome to our regularly scheduled commission meeting, November 8th, 2023. The time is now 7:17, and we thank you for your patience. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass.
Here.
Vice Mayor Irvin.
Here.
Commissioner Kelly. I'm sorry, Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Mayor Taylor.
Here. All right, Commissioner Bass, if you don't mind, our invocation.
Our Father who art in heaven, holy is your name. Father God, we thank you for an opportunity, Father God, to serve. We thank you, oh God, for our friends, our family. We thank you for our community at large. Father God, may you grant us wisdom, knowledge, revelation, and understanding that we will do your will. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Our pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we have under awards, proclamations, and acknowledgements, we have two presentations. The first presentation will be done by our Chief of Police, the Life Saving Award. Chief Otley, you have the floor. Mr. Manager, is Chief Otley? Are they okay? All right, Chief, you have the floor.
Send them what? Second, 2023. 40 hours.
1 second. Can we please use the mic?
On March 22nd, 2023 at 1940 hours, officers Bourne and Ramos were at a unrelated disturbance call in the 600 block of Douglas Road. The resident from 610 Douglas Road came running out of her apartment, hysterically screaming for help. Officers Bourne and Ramos did their best to calm the woman down and identify what the problem was. The woman said, "My brother is inside on the floor and I think he's dead." Officers Bourne and Ramos then entered apartment number 2, where they found a white male lying on the floor, unresponsive and not breathing. The woman advised that her brother was a drug addict and she believed that he had overdosed. Officer Bourne immediately began CPR while Officer Ramos requested that fire rescue respond via Miami-Dade Police Department dispatch. While Officer Bourne was performing CPR, Officer Ramos held the victim's head to keep an open airway. Officer Ramos was watching for any signs of life. Officer Bourne then used information that he learned from the victim's sister about the victim's drug use to administer Narcan. The first dose had no effect. Officer Bourne kept performing CPR, and then he administered a second dose of Narcan. At this point, the victim gasped for air and became responsive. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Unit 54 arrived on scene, and Lieutenant Spertudo took over the care of the patient. The patient was later identified as Luis Lopez. He was transported to Jackson North Hospital in stable condition and has since completely recovered. If not for the commendable efforts of these two police officers, Mr. Lopez would not be alive today. The actions of both officers should be commended under police case number 230322-022.
Thank you. Officer Bourne and Ramos will be receiving the Life Saving Award for their performance of duty during this event. Thank you, Officer Bourne and Ramos.
Picture?
I'm sorry, I like the picture.
And we have one more presentation to our Chief of Police, James Smith. He got a lot of AKAs. And Chief Smith has served this community for over 42 years. He's been our chief of police. I think he's been in every position in this city. Every position, including now he serves as one of our reserve officers. And I know this gonna be his second retirement. This is his second time retiring. So even like I said, when he left from being our chief of police, stopped being our chief of police, he still continued to serve our city as a reserve. So honoring 42 years of service, Chief of Police James Smith retired with great honor and recognition for your loyal and dedicated service to the city of Opa-locka and the Opa-locka Police Department. We proudly present this award to you in appreciation of your many years of valuable service on this day of November 8, 2023. And we also want to present to you with this proclamation. I'm not going to read all because you know your resume. But we just want to say that whereas Chief James Smith has devoted 42 years of his life to serving the city of Opa-locka community with courage, professionalism, and integrity. The city of Opa-locka and the city of Opa-locka Police Department congratulates Chief James Smith on a job well done and a well-deserved retirement. Now, therefore, I, Mayor John H. Taylor, along with the citizens of the great city of Opa-locka and my colleagues, City Commission, Vice Mayor Natasha Irvin, Commissioner Dr. Shirlene Bass, Commissioner Joseph Kelly, Commissioner Veronica Williams, do hereby proclaim November 8, 2023 as Chief of Police James Smith Day. So again, thank you, Chief, for your dedication, and to our officers that received the life-saving award. We appreciate you for a job well done. All right, as we get ready to go into the approval of the consent agenda, do we have any pulls, defers, or deletion on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Bass?
I would like to pull number 2.
Mr. Mayor, On
I'm
behalf-
so- Madam Clerk,
on behalf of Commissioner Kelly, he would like to defer 13-2, 13-3, and 13-4 to the next regular commission meeting. Or if there's a special meeting before the regular commission meeting, they will go on that agenda.
okay, so 2, 3, and 4 is being deferred. All right, okay, so any other pulls? All right, hearing none. All right, can we get a motion for the approval of tonight's consent agenda?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor, second by Commissioner Williams. Madam Clerk?
Vice Mayor Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes,
Motion passes 4-0.
and we're gonna go into the approval of tonight's agenda, but I believe we have 2 add-ons.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Madam Clerk, can you read into record the add-ons and then also state the emergency nature of these add-ons?
So yes, Mr. Mayor, the first item will be added as 14-1, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, approving the sale of alcoholic beverages and 2 special event permits for the Art of Transformation event hosted by the Opa-locka Community Development Corporation, DBA 10 North Group, and the City of Opa-locka, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the interim city manager. And again, this would be included as 14-1.
All right, so Mr. Manager, can you state the emergency nature?
Yes, item 14-1 is an event that the city of Opa-locka co-hosts with the 10 North Group. It'll be our second annual Art Basel event here in the city of Opa-locka, and they are looking to secure a liquor license. And so since we are going to be deferring our next commission meeting, if we wait to our, that's scheduled for November, if we wait to our December commission meeting, we will actually miss the event.
Okay, all right, so we can vote on this item to be added to the commission meeting. Madam Clerk?
I need a motion
I'm
in a
sorry, can we have
second.
a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Bass,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin,
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes,
Motion passes 4-0.
okay, and the next item, Madam Clerk?
Yes, this would be included as 14-2, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, shortlisting 2 candidates for the interim city manager's selection of the city's outside entity human resources director, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the City Commission.
All right, and I'm gonna yield to Madam Attorney to state the emergency nature of this item.
This item is before you all this evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, because you had a previous resolution that required the shortlisting tonight. You just had your workshop and you've already voted that this would be on tonight's agenda. And before the conclusion of the meeting, the city manager will make the final selection. Thank you.
All right, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Williams,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Irvin. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Bass, second by Vice Mayor Irvin. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, we're going to the approval of minutes. Approval of the minutes from the regular commission meeting minutes, September 13th, 2023. Can I get a motion?
Motion to move.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk?
Vice Mayor Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the second budget hearing minutes, September 27, 2023?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Irvin,
Second.
second by Commissioner Williams. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Bass?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin?
Yes.
Mayor Taylor?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, approval of the minutes from the regular commission meeting minutes, October 11th, 2023. Can I get a motion?
Move it. Second.
Move.
It's
Who
okay.
moved it? Moved by Vice Mayor Irvin, second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Bass?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin?
Yes.
Mayor Taylor?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, and I see do we have any District 1 or District 2 Commissioner reports? Madam Clerk? No?
No, Mr. Mayor.
All right, as we go, getting ready to go into our public presentations. We have one public presentation from Mr. Bruce Kaplan, reference water contamination class action lawsuit. Mr. Kaplan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, and Commissioners.
What?
For the record,
Oh, you got it.
for the record, my name is Bruce Kaplan with Office of 11410 Northwest 20th Street, Miami.
Give me 1 second. Mr. Manager, can you ask IT to come adjust the mic, please? Or lift it. Sometime so we can hear. Thank you, Mr. Manager. All right,
Thank you, Mr.
Kaplan.
Mayor. I'd like to thank also the city clerk, Madam Attorney, and the manager, also a graduate of the DLI, where he learned something much more useful in the English they tried to teach me. Thank you all very much for your time. I'm here to speak tonight about a horrible substance that has contaminated the water of every municipal system, including Opa-locka, throughout the country. They're called PFASs, per and fluoroalkyl substances. They're forever chemicals. The city of Opa-locka has a municipal water utility, although it is not in use currently, that is contaminated, as are we all, by these forever chemicals, which have a 1-to-1 or 100% correlation with cancer. So I'd just like to speak about that and then speak about what the city might be able to do. We had the pleasure of a Zoom call with the attorney and also spoke today. And well, there must have been somebody who looked like you. We had the pleasure of speaking earlier today and would like to make this presentation. These are toxic man-made chemicals that are being discovered in drinking water across the country. They've been manufactured and used in a variety of consumer products since the 40s. They're known as cooking utensils, fire retardants that go in children's clothing. They leach into the water, they leach into the water systems, and they then poison us and remain in our bodies for life, causing cancer and all sorts of bad things. Factories and manufacturing plants that have made these products containing PFAS, cookware, stain and water resistant fabrics, carpeting, cleaning products, and other household and automotive products. Airport and military installations use aqueous fighting, foam, firefighting contaminants. Have caused cancer. And in 1999, the first cases were brought on behalf of farmers in West Virginia, and there are now cases throughout the country. There are no cases currently in Miami-Dade County. I served as a county commissioner many decades ago, and one of the things that we were very insistent upon fighting, and today I'm actually fighting a class action lawsuit against the Covanta garbage burning plant in Coconut Grove, contaminating tens of thousands of African-American families were similar plants. So this has been a very serious endeavor, dear to my heart, for many decades now. PFAS is doing the same thing in communities that are least able to defend themselves across this country. I'd also like to introduce two members of our team, Charlie Safdie and Ryan Hall, who will be handling community outreach and dealing with folks that may, even without knowing it, have been contaminated by these chemicals and may be suffering from cancer and other exposed diseases. There are any number of trials ongoing across the country. There are tens of billions of dollars in reserve funds And one of my co-counsel in the case involving the Covanta waste recycling plant is Watts Guerra, of which we're fortunate enough to be co-counsel in PFAS litigation. Miami-Dade County entered into an agreement with another sister law firm. They have not proceeded. They have not engaged. It was an item that was lost after the election of the current mayor. However, Opa-locka has the opportunity to join in either a lawsuit as a class action on behalf of the city and gaining access to the tens of billions of dollars already set out in the middle district of South Carolina, or let settle loan funds of money that are now in abeyance with 3M, DuPont, Chemours, and other other companies that have manufactured or used these products indiscriminately and which have leached into the water system of all of the municipalities that have wells and all the individual entities that have wells throughout our county. We need funding for testing of every citizen in Opa-locka. We need remediation for the treatment and the prevention of cancer and other diseases that may have been caused by these PFAS chemicals. Presently, Watts Guerra, our co-counsel, has engaged in a $10.3 billion settlement payable over 13 years between DuPont, Chemours, and Corteva, amongst others. The state of Tennessee and other states, North Carolina, have also implemented their own individual lawsuits, and there is no impediment to the city of Opa-locka expecting to gain millions of dollars in remediation, monitoring, and other funds should we have the good fortune of representing the city at no cost to the city and no liability to the city moving forward. On September 20th of this year, The Guardian, which some may consider to be a rag sheet, but they actually have some fairly good reporting, reported that a new study published by the Journal of Exposure Science and Epidemiology finds that the exposure to PFAS increases the odds of certain hormonally driven cancers for women, such as ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, and breast cancer, and it doubles the odds for melanoma. We'd like to address that by representing the city and getting what is fair and fighting and having a domino effect throughout the rest of the county on behalf of the city of Opa-locka and many other cities that can gain access to the funds that have been reserved in multi-district litigation or individually should we move forward. Aaron Brockovich from the movie is a member of our team, along with Michael Watts and Alicia O'Neill. And we'll be here speaking with the residents of Opa-locka and guiding the city through the process of recovering all the money that's owed every single one of your citizens, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, and Chair and Commissioners.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Mr.
Well,
Kaplan.
thank you very much.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Kaplan? Okay, Mr. Kaplan, I have one question. You said what qualifies the city to join this class action lawsuit is because the city has a well.
That's correct. The city of Opa-locka has an active registered well with the state of, with the EPA, federal EPA, and is registered with the state of Florida with service to approximately 15,000 residents at the time it was sealed. And every one of the citizens actually that may have had exposure to the drinking water throughout our childhood and until it was sealed now are very, very likely infected with these PFAS chemicals. Miami-Dade County Water and Sewer could be a plaintiff because every single one of their wells has been contaminated and has been tested as such. But that's a very different story. Opa-locka could be the trailblazer.
Okay, and the cost to join the class action lawsuit, you said was free?
Absolutely free, Mr. Mayor. The cost, the environmental studies, the chemistry, as well as the medical evaluation of every citizen of Opa-locka that cares to will be borne by the law firm and recovered with the grace of God from these horrible chemical companies that with impunity have poisoned our water, our air, and have really endangered the lives of our children and grandchildren.
All right, you're saying PFAS,
PFAS, pair and polyfluoralkyl substances, PFAS, better known as forever chemicals. They're toxic man-made chemicals. And we think of them as the stuff that makes cookware non-sticking or retardant children's wear, fire retardant. But every time it leaches into the water, you hang wash out to dry, or you throw away a pan, it leaches into the groundwater. And our water table is only about 4 feet high throughout South Florida. So the well very likely was contaminated by innocent folks just hanging their washout, leaching into the water table, getting up into the well, and thus getting into the water system. And we can stop it. We can get recompense from every one of these bad actors at no cost at all, Mr. Mayor, and potentially tens of millions of dollars to the city.
And I just want to, for the record, you said our wells are closed.
The well now is closed, and
Okay.
the city of Opa-locka draws water, from my understanding, Mr. Manager, from Miami-Dade Water and Sewer at this point.
Right.
But the damage is already done.
Okay, all right. And Commissioner Bass?
Thank you. Just a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know when that well was closed and the location?
Dr. Bass, I can get back to you on that. I am not certain. It was whenever the city cut over service from being an independent operating entity to buying water from the county.
So this is over, Mr. Manager, will be like a couple, not a couple years, a minute, yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We don't
About
actually have
30, 40 years ago, right?
Yes, we look forward to receiving whatever documentation that he has, but we currently don't have a record.
No,
of it.
she was trying to figure out, do you know when the well was actually closed? Oh, got it. I got it. I just heard you. All right.
The team, Mr. Mayor, to also answer your questions, the team of environmental litigators that we'll bring to bear are dozens in number and have received tremendous judgments for places like Flint, Michigan, representing the Santa Ana Water District right now, have litigated against DuPont in Maine for billions of dollars in remuneration to the good people there. Other parts of California, North Carolina, and of course, where Aaron Brockovich recently appeared in Flint, which was that horrible case that you all know about, where they killed tens and tens and tens of babies with water contaminated by these very same PFAS chemicals.
Okay.
So the law is pretty clear. It's now just getting everybody examined and bringing lawsuit on behalf of the city. And with the help of our marketing team, Ryan and Charlie will be able to get to every single person that the commission feels is needing. And those that aren't, folks that have moved away, anybody that ever was exposed to these chemicals are certainly able to be represented,
All right.
as is the city per se.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kaplan. Do we have
Thank
any
you,
other
Mr.
questions?
Mayor.
Any other questions for Mr. Kaplan? All right. All right. Thank you,
Madam
Mr.
Vice
Kaplan,
Mayor, Commissioners,
for
thank you.
bringing that information
Thank
to
you.
us.
Thank you.
Our next presenter is Dr. Cynthia Clay, reference to Dr. Robert B. Ingram Elementary School. She's the principal of Dr. Robert B. Ingram Elementary School.
Good evening,
Good
Mayor,
evening.
Vice Mayor, and entire commission, to everyone in your respective places. I come here tonight to first of all say thank you. Thank you to the commission for all of the unique opportunities you offer the students at Dr. Robert B. Ingram Elementary. Unique opportunities I know that many other elementary schools don't have that ability to get. So I would like to say thank you for that. I also wanted to come tonight to highlight some of the great things that's going on at Dr. Robert B. Ingram Elementary School. And for those that may not know, or those that may have school-age children and looking for a great school, Dr. Robert B. Ingram is the place to be. One of the things I want to highlight tonight is our science program. We have a very unique science program. We have a science lab with animals for many different countries. We work closely with the scientists who works with our school, as well as we have partnered with St. Thomas University medical students that come out and work with our students in the area of science. So I just have a little snippet of what is taking place at Robert B. Ingram Elementary. The
Is it-
video.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, it's coming up. Okay, once again, I just would like to say thank you so very much. And if you're looking for a great elementary school, Dr. Robert B. Ingram Elementary is the place to be. Again, I am Dr. Cynthia Clay, the very proud principal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Clay, before you leave, I want to say I had the opportunity to actually visit the science lab, and it is remarkable. And I was very impressed that in Opa-locka we have some reptiles, endangered reptiles here in the city of Opa-locka, and I think we should actually start to highlight those things. I'm actually like Vice Mayor always says, Opa-locka Elementary is my alma mater.
Yes.
And we thank you for all of the hard work that you do, but I do believe that the commission has any questions or something they want to say to Dr. Clay before she leaves.
I don't have a question. I just have to brag because that's my school,
I know you're
24
right.
years. As Dr. Clay always says, where excellence is expected.
Dr. Clay, that red looks great on you, by the way. Um,
It's because you a Delta, that's why she said that.
no, but what an amazing job. Listen, you are the standard when it comes to leadership. Not just being a principal, but I always say you can't do the work of the four walls of the classroom, but it's also what we do in the community. And you are, as the kids say, the GOAT when it comes to school and community. And so we thank you. I personally, and we all as an entire city, thank you for your blood, sweat, and tears, because I know that job is hard. And I know that I was there at the onset of the lab, the ribbon cutting and all of that. And it was absolutely amazing. I did not want to touch anything, but it was unbelievable and giving our students the world. This is what public education looks like. No shade to charter, a little bit, but this is exactly what I love to see. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Just keep up the good work. And that is my alma mater. Yes.
All of us went there.
The Kari Griffin too. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, if I may say, we do have availability for volunteers to be a part of our school.
We're
Thank you
about to
very
open up
much.
citizens forum.
We're already doing a volunteer job.
We already volunteered.
Commissioner Van. We're getting ready to go into our citizens forum. Madam Clerk, could you read into the record how to participate in citizens forum?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. City of Opa-locka Commission meetings are held in person at the Opa-locka Municipal Complex, City Commission Chambers, 780 Fisherman Street, 3rd floor, Opa-locka, Florida. Members of the public wishing to address the commission may do so in person or virtually. Those persons wishing to participate virtually should register prior to the scheduled meeting time on the city's website at www.opalockafl.gov. When speaking before the commission, please make sure to give your full name and address for the record. There is a 3-minute time limit for public comments. Please adhere to the decorum policy, which is part of the commission meeting agenda. City commission meetings are aired through live stream at www.youtube.com/user/City of Opa-locka. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, citizens forum is open.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Brian Dennis, address 2140 York Street. On last week, I was attacked, but I don't really call it an attack, by Miss Stephanie Hold'em. I want to thank Ms. Hold'em for allowing me to use the commission meeting as a training tool to show my boot campers that people are going to talk about you with your record, but you do not let it stop you. You continue to move on. Ms. Hold'em said that I've been going to jail since 1980. In 1980, I was 13 years old up until December the 2nd when I turned 14 years old. Ms. Hold'em said that I have been going to jail all the way up to 2023. The only time that I go to jail is when I go to Miami-Dade County Boot Camp or TGK to do walking one stops with my boot camp. Then she insisted that I was on cocaine and all these other things. My past is my past. If Jesus dropped the charges, why is she bringing it up? So I would say to Ms. Hold'em, it is better to have someone think that you are a fool than to open up your mouth and remove all doubt. Ms. Hold'em wondered why I was the Community Relations Board Chair and she attacked Commissioner Kelly. Well, let me give you a plaque that I got from the city of Opa-locka from 1999 when Alvin Miller was the mayor, where I served on the charter board. And it said, presented to the city of Opa-locka, presented to board member Brian Dennis, in great recognition for your dedication, service, and commitment to the charter review board, June 19, 1999. Alvin Miller was the Alvin Miller mayor, Myra Taylor vice mayor, Mary Allen commissioner, Bobby Bradley commissioner, Derek L. Miller. So in order to know anything about me, you have to know the history of the city. The second thing is, I don't have a problem with what she said. I have a problem with the slander. You can't slander me and you got my record in your hand. Now, notice that she had a red folder. When she slandered me, which was lies, in that folder is my documents. In other words, I am covered by the blood of Jesus. When you don't come for me if I didn't call you. Now, let's go to what we really need. All of this is a deflection to highlight my criminal record, which got me to where I'm at now in the job that I have because of what's going on with the manager's office. Why we had a special meeting for HR. We should not have special meetings for HR when we've had HR managers quit because of the manager and the police chief is in the same position as the manager. as the HR director.
Mr. Dennis,
Yes, yes, sir.
let's not do the rumors and the innuendos. We
No,
don't-
it's not.
Factual.
This is factual. How many HR directors have we had quit?
No, I agree, but I don't agree. Let's, because we don't know if that's actually happening. We gotta, let's just adhere to the decorum policy. He stopped at, it was like 20 something seconds. We'll give him his time.
Please add 20 seconds to Mr. Dennis's
So
time.
That's,
Let me close with this. We all know that the manager doesn't qualify to be up here. I bought his record up here.
Mr. Mayor,
We've had people coming back and forth. So those who support the manager, I will say this here, we will recall those who support the manager. And that's our job as the citizen of the city of Opa-locka to recall those that are not doing the business of the city. Thank you.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Citizens Forum is still open.
Good evening, Audrey Dominguez. I'm going to translate for this resident. I just met him. He needs someone to translate, so I'm gonna go ahead and translate for him. Diga su nombre para ver
Osmani Gómez,
su dirección.
13, o sea, 421. 421.
13.
1341
Port Side Road,
Port Said Road.
Opa-locka, Florida.
Whatever.
La situación es por más de 3 años.
Is it for more than 3 years?
Tenemos presentando una situación con el sistema del SUA,
He's had a problem with the sewer line.
donde esto provoca inundaciones dentro de los hogares
That
de
this,
esta
this,
área.
this produces inundation in the household. That he's been experiencing this problem. And he's never brought it up before, but he didn't know what to do.
Hemos ido de diferentes instancias tratando de solucionar el problema
He says he's been through many instances trying to resolve the problem,
y no ha habido solución hasta el día de hoy.
and there hasn't been a resolution as of today.
Tenemos niños pequeños.
We have
so-
small
hoy estamos
children,
aquí
and that's why we're here,
tratando de buscar una solución a este problema, ¿vale?
to find a solution to this problem. Pero ¿qué le pasó en su casa?
Se desborda los tazas por encima.
He says like, overflowing
Hemos
of the
pasado,
sewage,
hemos
back
pasado
up,
hasta 3 días
up to
sin
3
poder
days
utilizar los sistemas sanitarios.
without being able to use the bathroom. Back up.
Supuestamente las personas que han indicado que han venido es que se han fabricado edificios y ese es el SUA original de esas casas.
Oh, he said that in the past that they've told them that it's because of the building that they've been construction in the area, and that's causing a buildup in the
Y no da
backup of the sewage, and that's why it's not big enough to cover the sewage line.
Antiguamente solamente era cuando llovía, pero hoy día es
It says
cualquier-
before it used to be when it rained, but now it's like all the time.
Quiero agradecer a la oficina del señor Killing, de la señorita Johanna.
Okay, he says he wanted to thank the city clerk and also the,
Nos ayudaron también a resolver el problema del agua potable, que no había presión alguna.
oh yeah, they said that they fixed a problem with the pressure of the water that was not working, so they were able to fix that.
Entonces no tengo más nada que decirles, pero por la ayuda de ustedes.
So he says he doesn't have anything else to say, but he hopes that he can get some resolutions regarding this
Tenemos 3
matter.
niños pequeños, nos vemos
3
afectados con toda esta situación.
3 small children, and we're affected by this problem.
¿Ok? Muchas gracias. Buenas noches.
Commissioner Dominguez, really quick, you said, because, Port said, what's the address?
13-421.
13421 Port Said Road,
Port Side Road.
Port Said Road.
Yes, I know. What's the road? Okay, and okay, thank you. It sounds.
Mr. Mayor, could we have Commissioner Dominguez, could we repeat the residents' names, please, for the
He
record?
earned his name.
Yeah.
Osmani Gómez.
Okay,
Osmani Gomez.
thank you, ma'am.
All right, Citizens Forum is still, still open?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Trina Grady. The address is 13210 Alexandria Drive, and that is in Opa-locka, Glorietta Gardens apartment. I am the regional manager. I have a statement to read that came from our management company. Since the date of August of 2023, we have a red tag, which was Building 8. Right now, there are currently running fines for non-compliance, yet we are being denied permits, which would allow us to rectify these violations. The city manager led our team and I'm sorry, this microphone. The city manager led our team and in-house attorney to believe that he is licensed attorney, which resulted in our team negotiating directly with the city manager instead of the city attorney. This resulted in unnecessary delays. We negotiated back and forth with the city manager and experienced delays in his response, even though we met with his conditions and proceeded. There would be several days in between his response and continued emails from our in-house attorney in an effort to finalize the execution of the consent agreement. Our attorney offered to drive to Miami and meet one-on-one with the city manager to resolve any potential issues. However, it was always met with reasons why he could not meet. Our team has requested building permits to begin the work on Building 8 and has been told by the permit department that they are unable to accept our permit application because the city manager has told them that they are not to accept our permit application. We have a licensed and approved contractor ready to perform the work. However, as of right now, we have not been issued the permit and we have requested. The contractor, Element Construction, has been on site and available for a month. Yet we have not been able to begin work in Building 8. The city manager led us to believe that he secured $500,000 in funding from the Miami-Dade Trust Coalition to fund the hotel expenses and storage for the 58 tenants who were displaced, and many of them unnecessarily. Now the city manager is telling us that he lost the funds and has not returned our numerous phone calls and email requesting contact information for the homeless coalition. We have been unable to finalize the consent agreement with the city attorney because Mr. Williams has not provided the city attorney with the information needed in order to proceed. This has been ongoing for approximately 1 month. We hired a licensed contractor. As such, we have incurred expenses far in exceed of $300,000 since this building was unnecessarily red tag in the entire versus the 5 or so units that would have been relocated. We hired an independent HUD certified inspector to inspect Building 8, and it was the inspectors believed that the entire building did not need to be red tagged. While we understand that Glorietta has some problems, we want nothing more to be able to make required repairs. Can I finish, please?
It would be
It would literally one paragraph.
okay, the government.
I promise. We have done everything on our side to facilitate this process. However, at times we are not able to provide decent, safe, and sanitary homes to our residents due to not being permitted to perform work at the property. We would appreciate any assistance you can provide, which would allow us to move this process forward. The resident wants to return home. Some have even said that there's nothing wrong with their apartment. We just want to come home.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Ms. Trina. Citizens Forum is still open?
Audrey Dominguez, 1147 Jan Avenue. I wanted to first start by thanking Public Works Department, Mr. King, for cutting the overgrown grass on Jan Avenue. He also fixed the bathrooms here that I brought to his attention. So he's got 5 stars with me. So he's in good standing. Okay. Regarding the resident that came up, I've also had 2 calls today about backup in 141st Street, where the house was overflown with, backup in the house. The house flooded completely. But you should be hearing about that. They supposedly went. They're fixing the problem, but we have a serious problem. I also wanted to speak in regards to the previous meeting regarding when the inside audit firm will have the audit report ready for Malcolm LLP. They stated that it takes 6 to 8 weeks for an audit to get done, and these are facts. This is normally what it takes. However, the new internal lead account team stated that the previous firm, which is Tony Bronson firm, did not provide the documentation needed to continue the process. So now the internal audit had to start from scratch. That's what they stated on the record. The finance director also stated that files were utilized, stored, viewed, updated, and saved in common place. And it is alleged. I'm using the word alleged because you can't accuse someone unless you have proof that Mr. Bronson, the day before he left, the file drive was deactivated and removed, gone. So we can't, I wouldn't accuse anyone unless you have proof. It was first alleged as well that Tri-Merge also withheld documents needed to complete the audit. So now it's Tony Bronson. So something doesn't seem right. So I really think that we need to do a better job as far as system in place. It's better, especially with the backup hard drive of the systems. Like it just doesn't make sense to me how something just totally disappears, like wiped out. So you mean to tell me you put your whole heart in a company that's coming to do a job that we're paying, but then all of a sudden they leave and they leave with our files? To me, it makes no sense.
Thank you, Commissioner. Citizens Forum is still open.
Good evening, everybody.
Really?
Protocol has been established to everybody in their places. Cheryl Kaysen, retired chief of the great city of Opa-locka. First of all, I would like to publicly thank the mayor and commission and the city manager and each and every one of you that recently supported me, knowing that my nephew was killed by a police officer in the city of Miami a couple of weeks ago. Being a bifold of that incident, meaning I'm law enforcement and that was my family. I commend you all for bringing Chief Otley here. I've known him for years and we share the same mindset on some things. Mr. Manager, thank you for your vision. Thank you. Mayor Commission, thank you for your vision. Thank you. First of all, if a pencil didn't have, if nobody made a mistake, a pencil wouldn't have an eraser. Isn't that right? Okay, what we have to do, like I said before, there's problems, there's stuff before you guys came, stuff before you came, stuff while you're here, and there's gonna be stuff when you leave. And what we have to do is prioritize the stuff. Thank you, Mr. Kaplan, for that information about the water. Thank you for bringing forth your sewer. This is how we solve problems, by knowing what's going on. If you don't know, you can't do nothing about it. Thank you, Lord God, for embracing the imperfections. Let me tell you, Chief Smith, thank you for your years of service. Oh, he wanted to say he approved of all of you. And he told me to say that because, you know, he don't want to injure them hips a little further walking up here. But he wanted to let you know that he appreciate you and thank you, and you got his vote. He has lived in this community for over, how long, James? Since 81. Okay, he's been a product of this community, and that's what I want from our police officers. I want them to be able to bring their families into our community. I raised my children in this community. I was here in this community, and I was proud to be in this community. And I want everybody safe in our community. I want the business people to come here. I want y'all to bring your children here. Bring your concerns so we understand, because the world and Rome, we know, was not built in a day. We continue to work together. This is what leadership is all about. Y'all keep leading, because a lot of folks following. Amen.
Thank you, Chief. Citizens Forum is still open. Okay, Citizens Forum is closed. All right, real quick, I will say, Mr. Dennis, I want to publicly apologize for the slander from the resident on last week. No, but I want to make sure that going forward that we respect each other and follow the decorum. So I want to publicly apologize for that. Mr. Gomez, as far as the backup sewage is concerned, on Port Said Road, Mr. Manager, I'm sure you already got his number and everything. And what, can you provide the commission with information on what building he's addressing when he says, because the building went up,
Yes, sir.
that's I think that's what we were all puzzled
Okay.
on, what building he was addressing. Ms. Trina, you brought the information to us about the permitting process, Mr. Manager, and I believe Commissioner Williams also requested that the attorney get involved with that process. So, Madam Attorney, please make sure that you all link. And I think you asked a couple of meetings ago.
Would you like an update on that, Mr. Mayor?
You want to do it now or do the
Yes.
report?
Yes, we can do it now. So it's
Okay.
contemporaneous.
Sure.
Okay, so I provided this report to the commission, and I want it to be read in the record contemporaneously with the statements that were made by Glorietta. Please be advised that on Wednesday, November 1st, 2023, Glorietta Gardens management team made the decision to move several of their tenants from the Marriott and Miami Lakes to extended stay America hotels that they selected. Residents state that they were given only 24 hours to move. Many of the tenants sent text messages and emails to the city, and a group came to City Hall at approximately 9 a.m. Thursday, November 2nd, 2023, to complain. My staff and I did meet with the group of tenants and did take down their complaints and did contact the Glorietta Gardens team management regarding giving only 24 hours notice to vacate the current hotel. Residents of Glorietta Gardens also complained to the media, which resulted in Channel 10 reporting a story on the matter the same day. Currently, all outstanding fees in the building and licensing department have been paid. Accordingly, as I have reported at a previous commission meeting. Accordingly, we await from Glorietta Gardens the submission of plans from the issuance of permits for building and infrastructure repairs so that they may proceed. So we have met with their general contractor. I have personally met with them. I've asked for his plans. And just today, I sent an email to Building and License Department and Public Works to say, have they received anything from Glorietta Gardens regarding their rehab plans, which I've been requesting from them since February. Mr. Austin, have you received anything? Thank you. In addition, buildings 4 and 7 are exhibiting severe issues now, including seepage of raw sewage. Glorietta Gardens continues to have unpaid balances owed to Public Works and code compliance. Citations owed to code compliance are significant and are accruing daily by order of the special magistrate. That means they had the opportunity, as Ms. Grady did, come meet with the special magistrate, present their case, have opportunity to present their plans. However, the special magistrate decided to levy running fines for their lack of compliance and their lack of progress. Untimely payment to vendors appears to continue to be a problem for Glorietta Gardens. There has been a lack of security coverage due to a lapse in payment to the contractor. So they went several months in violation of our code by not having a security firm out there. Part of the consent agreement was that they would continue to have their current firm that they selected. Since we've been having these discussions, has been unpaid for the last 3 months. I was told today that he just received a partial payment after suspending service. Now, keep in mind, for a complex at that size, and there's been the coverage is required by our code for an apartment complex the size of Glorietta Gardens. We have recently been notified by the Marriott Miami Lakes that they have not received payment from Glorietta Gardens. That means that our residents have been staying there for however time that they've had them there, and they've made no payment to Marriott Miami Lakes as well. In addition, the operation lead and attorney, Phil Thrawn, is no longer with the company. So this is Mr. Thrawn. He had been in charge of the relocation processes, and he's also been the point person for the discussion of the consent agreement, which was appointed by Jeff Staley, the asset manager. We have been notified that operations will be taken over by Trina Grady, who is here with us tonight, and negotiation of the consent agreement will move forward temporarily with longtime asset manager Jeff Staley. He's the same gentleman who's been in charge of Glorietta Gardens for decades now. We shall wait to see how his departure will impact the time frame for getting the consent agreement completed, as there are concerns with the agreement that was proffered. As I promised, when we received the final consent agreement, from Glorietta Gardens, we immediately forwarded that over to the city attorney. We had a meeting with the city attorney. She did bring up some serious concerns. And my understanding was that we were going to provide additional information, which staff is putting together for the city attorney. But they currently do not have, as reported by Ms. Grady, current representation to move that forward. I don't know if they've now secured representation, but so Mr. Thrawn is back. Oh. Okay.
No.
So last communication I had is that Mr. Thrawn was no longer with the company and that he would no longer be working with the city. So I have not been communicated with who's going to be replacing him, except for just Ms. Grady stated to me that on a phone call this week that Mr. Staley would be the point of contact, who is the asset manager, not an attorney.
May I, Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead, Madam Attorney.
Yeah, just to add to this. So they do apparently have an outside counsel that they've contracted with. And I think I don't know if it's Katina, I don't know the name, but it's a lady out of Tallahassee. And she said that apparently she was hired to be outside counsel to deal with the consent agreement. I did speak with Mr. Thorne. You all may recall this was going on as an emergency item. I met the next day after I got the document with the staff. We made comments. We spent hours on it. We talked to the attorney, and they have been calling ever since. But when they called the last couple of times, I did let them know, because they had been calling in between that time, like more than a week had passed or so. And I'm waiting for the city manager to give some additional information that's needed for the agreement. So what I told them simply was that I am not in a position to speak with them at this time, because I'm looking for some information. And after that, I can get back in contact with them. So I do know that they have had somebody who has been calling. They do have I guess Mr. Thorne, he is an attorney. He was the general counsel. I'm not sure if he's gone based on what the manager said he may be, but the last time I spoke with him, which was a little over a week ago, he said that he has always been the general counsel, but because of some personality issues, he jumped in and started doing some other things. Now, I don't know what personality issues he was talking about. He wasn't specific, but he did say that. So I have made a number of comments for the agreement. So to answer your question, Mr. Mayor, have made a number of comments. We got on it right away. They did express, a lot of concern when I spoke with them. One of the things that they did say was that they were waiting for the manager to provide them with information from Miami-Dade County as to a funding source for reimbursement. So I let the manager know that the same day that I got the agreement, and sent a long list of numbered paragraphs of things that the city would want to look into. So I am still waiting. It's been about 2 weeks now. And when I received the information from the manager, I did see an email that he sent yesterday to his staff saying, please get information to the city attorney as soon as possible. I still, as of today, don't have anything. So as soon as I get that, I will proactively work immediately to try to meet with the Glorietta Gardens attorney and the Tallahassee person that I have and move forward. But I'm at a standstill, so I don't have any, until I get more information. There's nothing that my office can do
Okay.
at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. Mr. Manager, I have a couple questions. Well,
Wait,
in the
Mr. Mayor,
chat- oh,
I
I'm
know
sorry.
you're going to ask questions. I knew I can we put a pin in, because
Yeah,
we're still in citizens forum.
yeah.
Can we put a pin, either that or amend the agenda? Like, we got to do something because we're still
No, we closed
there.
citizens forum, but we'll
Okay.
move on.
Because I think we all have questions. I have questions, and I think it'll kind of.
You
I
were
don't
gonna
know.
you bringing this up in your report?
Absolutely, I can.
No
Okay.
problem. I
Okay.
can yield. All right, and then the last one was the backup sewage on 141st Street, brought to us by Commissioner Audrey Dominguez and the concerns on the audit. And then our Chief Kason, thank you for your hard work and dedication. So we're getting ready to go into our items 14-1, Madam Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, approving the sale of alcoholic beverages and 2 special event permits for the Art of Transformation event hosted by the Opa-locka Community Development Corporation, Inc., doing business as 10 North Group in the City of Opa-locka, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the interim city manager.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Williams. Second by Commissioner Bass. Mr. Manager, can you go ahead and present this item?
Absolutely. So as part of our process for approving events, we have a special events permit process through our community development for certain types of events such as these. This is the event sponsored by 10 North with the first event, first ever Art Basel event in the city of Opa-locka, hosted by them last year. They are looking to do the same event again this year here in the city of Opa-locka, and the city has already agreed to again co-sponsor. They are looking to sell alcohol anytime there's going to be an alcohol sale. We require through our special events permit that they get permission from the commission before proceeding with that process with the county. So since we're just a few weeks out from that event, they're now looking to move forward with that, getting that license. And we need to, in compliance with our code, they need to get permission from the commission to vend alcohol. We have our community development director, Mr. Gregory Gay, who's also in charge and oversees the special event process in case the commission has any questions.
Okay, any questions for the manager on this item? All right, okay. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bass?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Taylor?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, Madam Attorney, 14-2.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, shortlisting 2 candidates for the interim city manager selection of the city's outside entity, Human Resources Director, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for conflict, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the City Commission.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Williams.
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Irvin. Madam Attorney, can you present this item?
This is an item that you all authorized in the previous meeting. At this point, you will be, it does contain blanks because you haven't made the official selection. So from your workshop, this would be the time that you would add the names in of the 2 shortlisted candidates for the manager to then select from there.
Okay, I have one quick question before we start that process. You said something early in the meeting. Once we do the shortlist, the candidates, I think the manager will have to choose tonight.
Yes, before the end of the meeting. That's
Before
what
the end of the
that's what the
meeting.
previous resolution said.
Okay. Okay. Anybody want to jump out there for the? I know we stated it in the workshop, but for the record, we need to put it out there.
Okay, I'll jump out. I have a quick question. Was the manager privileged to get the same things that we have? The same, did you get the same packets that we got?
I did just receive the packet. Yes.
We doing a whole lot of decision making in seconds. Okay.
Okay. All right,
Quick question, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Bass.
Can we make the decision now and give the manager an opportunity to give his response later on during the meeting?
I
he
think
can
that's
have
what the
minutes.
attorney stated.
Yes,
So based on our short list, then he will take that time.
before the conclusion of the meeting is
Okay.
what it said. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Question through the mayor.
Commissioner Williams.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Commissioner-
Oh, okay. Question. So I think I'm a little something near to so we just had a lot of discussion about pricing and how much and all of that. And then during that discussion, there were conversations about negotiations. How do we do this if that
Sure.
that process hasn't been done?
The document, the RFP document does allow for negotiation with a successful candidate.
So if the candidate does not agree, then are we back to square one?
I suppose the manager could look at the second shortlisted choice. But both of the persons tonight that presented said that they were willing to negotiate.
Well,
Mhm.
I was gonna piggyback on what you said. Commissioner Williams, if you don't mind, you still have the floor, but I have one second, Vice Mayor. Because I'm a little, I understand the process, Madam Manager, but is it possible if we do the short list tonight that we give the manager a little bit of time to talk to whatever and then bring that back in resolution form or to be ratified at a later meeting, or we call a special meeting next week or something like that? Because
you could do that. I'm just telling you what your previous resolution, what your previous resolution said.
Okay, so will we need to amend the resolution, or will we need to just make a motion, or how does that, what would that look like? Because I'm with Commissioner Williams and Vice Mayor. We all just got it. We're making a huge decision. I know we have our two, but
I guess the amendment would be in this resolution that you're passing right now.
Okay.
So, right.
All right. So I'm sorry. Commissioner Williams, you still have the floor. I just piggybacked on.
No. I mean, this is what I think we're all thinking the same.
Okay.
We're all thinking alike, because I would want the manager to have time to vet and ask questions and yeah. So.
And Vice Mayor?
I mean, we talked about negotiations. So is the manager gonna be the negotiator, or like we're putting that on him?
Yeah, I guess how does this process work?
Well, the manager is making the final selection, so I would think the manager would be the negotiator. I guess you could have it come back before the commission and make in the resolution, like you said, bring it back at a meeting, at the next meeting, and have it confirmed. But I'm assuming this process needs to be underway because you all, I don't think you have a meeting. The next meeting isn't a regular.
We haven't made that decision yet.
Okay, so okay,
I won't be here.
So I'm jumping ahead then. So what you probably want to do, maybe you can give him the authority from the ones that you shortlist. You can give him the authority to negotiate and make that final selection at some date that you choose. But I know that the time being of the essence was trying to get this underway so that you can continue your search, your manager search, as well as also get the department staffed.
Okay. So with that being said, I would like to make an amendment to the resolution you said we would have to, what would be the language to give the manager negotiation power and selection power, and then he has the sole ability to make that decision and to bring it back for ratification to the commission at the next regular scheduled commission meeting?
Yes, we could do that.
Do we need to say that firm can start as soon as he makes that decision?
But we can write that in the resolution.
Okay. All right. You're gonna have to help me formulate that because I said a lot and I don't.
It would be just what you said because we'll take it right from the tape.
Okay, I just want to make sure that he like what Commissioner Williams said and Vice Mayor, he has the ability to negotiate, make a decision, and then bring it back to us as a ratification, and also that they can start work as soon as he makes the decision.
Yes.
So, and we can put a timeline on it, I guess. Commissioner, a timeline
Would that be a timeline for the manager
to make a decision?
Oh, I mean, that could happen in 2 days, a week.
So within 48 hours.
48 hours,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So by Friday.
Friday.
By close of
okay.
business day Friday, Mr. Manager.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and then, okay, wait, Friday's a holiday, so
Oh, yeah, okay, Monday.
what can you do about close of business day Friday, or, let's ask you. Is that cool with you?
No, I thought are we off Friday?
Okay, so by close of business day.
You know what, actually, let me ask a quick question to the manager, Mr. Mayor. When you're doing your vetting process, will you then need to also speak with the two candidates?
I hadn't
would
contemplated
you-
that. What we'll probably do is look at their background and their credentials. That's the process that we would normally employ in what we call what's the process when we do for RFQs? Evaluation committee. So we'll just do evaluation committee.
But you do need to speak in order to negotiate.
Yes.
So that's all I'm saying, like, we don't know if the candidates themselves will be,
Available.
you know, we're saying 2 days, but I mean,
I can contact them tomorrow, and then if they're not, if I don't hear from them by noon on Monday, we'll make a decision based off of the materials that we have.
Okay, so by close of business day Monday.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
And Madam Attorney, because I know it is an RFP.
It's an RFQ.
RFQ, I'm sorry. So can the manager respond to every commissioner and just say, this is the person that I've chosen, blah, 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 blah? Is that?
That could be a part of the resolution, that the manager will inform the commission
okay.
within
I just
48
wanna-
hours of.
Because I don't think we've
Yeah.
ever done it this way, so I
No.
just want to make sure that we're doing it the right way.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so we can have the discussion now and then vote on the amendment, and then we'll vote on the resolution. So, Commissioner Williams, you just said you want to start, and then we'll go down.
okay. My two is Chan Bryant Abney and the Employee Relations Group.
Madam, Dr. Baz?
Thank you. Mine as well, number 2 and number 5.
Oh, you gotta stay.
The Employees Relations Group and Chang Bryan, PA.
And so that's 2 for employee, 2 and 2, employee relations and Chan Bryant. I think Sean Bryant, right? Sean Abney, Bryant Abney. And Vice Mayor?
I'm sorry. Yes, I have Chan Bryant Abney and the Employee Relation Group.
Okay, and
Isn't it Sean?
Sean.
Sean.
Sorry.
So
Sean.
Okay, I'll go with the majority on this one. So Miss Sean Bryant and what's the other employee relations group?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Madam Clerk, we're gonna insert those 2 names, which is, I can't find the paper. That's what I was looking for. No, not that paper.
Sure.
So, the Employee Relations Group and Chan Bryant Abney, PA. Those are the 2 names that we're going to insert. So at this point, we need to, can I get a motion on the amendment to the resolution?
Movement. Second.
Moved by Vice Mayor Irvin, second by Commissioner Bass. And Madam Attorney, I just want to make sure you all have an understanding of the amendment.
I have it.
Okay, Madam Clerk, on the amendment?
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Baz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin?
Yes.
Mayor Taylor?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 on the amendment.
All right, can I get a motion on the actual, I'm sorry, we already made a motion on the, vote on the agenda, I'm sorry, the agenda item itself. Madam Clerk?
Vice Mayor Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Baz?
Yes.
Mayor Taylor?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, we're going into items 16B1.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending the annual adopted general proprietary and special revenue funds budgets for the fiscal year commencing October 1, 2023, and ending September 30, 2024, adjusting revenues and expenditures as reflected in Exhibit A, providing for the expenditure of funds established by the budget, authorizing the city manager to take certain actions, providing for appropriation of all budgets and expenditures, providing for fees consistent with appropriations and amendment, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for conflict and repealer, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the interim city manager.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Williams,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor, Mr. Manager.
Thank you. This is an item for a budget amendment for October 1st, 2023 and ending September 30th, 2024, with all the adjusting materials. If you have any questions, in Exhibit A. We also have our budget administrator, Mr. Robert Anathan here, available for the commission.
All right, this is a public hearing item. Public hearing is open. Hearing none, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Okay, any questions for Mr. Anathan or Mr. Manager on regarding this budget amendment? All right, Madam Clerk. who said-
Vice Mayor Irvin.
One second.
Oh, no, I hit her.
Oh,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
yes,
Motion passes 4-0.
all right. Madam Attorney, 16B2.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending the annual adopted general proprietary and special revenue funds budgets for the fiscal year commencing October 1, 2022, and ending September 30, 2023, adjusting revenues and expenditures as reflected in Exhibit A, providing for the expenditure of funds established by the budget, authorizing the city manager to take certain actions, providing for appropriation of all budgets and expenditures, providing for fees consistent with appropriations and amendment, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for conflict and repealer, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the interim city manager.
Can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor,
Second.
second by Dr. Bass.
Mr. Mayor.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, so you were provided with substitute backup information for this item. You all should have a copy before you, and this information would replace what's in the packet. Does everybody?
Yes.
What, Ms. Maya has some additional copies.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, all right. It was moved by Vice Mayor, second by Commissioner Bass. Mr. Manager.
Thank you. So the previous budget amendment was for the current fiscal year. This budget amendment is for the previous fiscal year that ended on September 30th, 2023. And we have our budget administrator, Mr. Robert Anathan, here in case the commission has any specific questions pertaining to thereto.
Okay, this is a public hearing item. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. All right, any questions for Mr. Anathan or Mr. Manager? Okay. Mr. Manager, just two quick questions. One, what was the major changes from the paper that we just received versus?
Mr. Anathan?
Just like a quick, and then while he's walking up, my last question was going to be, just from my knowledge, is this the last budget hearing? I mean, not budget hearing, the budget amendment for last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good evening, Commission, Bob Anathan, Budget Administrator. The year-end accounting numbers keep changing from the time we did the what was in your package to this document. We had to add 3 lines of last-minute expense that popped up. So if you look at the listing of the particular items, it would be the last 3 items. Originally, it was 15. The new sheet has 18 items on it. Excuse me.
Oh, 16, 17, 18.
Yes, sir.
122, 25, and 65. All right, all right, thank you. Yes, sir. Any other questions from Mr. Anathan? All right, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes,
Motion passes 4-0.
all right, we're getting ready to go into our city manager's report. And I believe, Mr. Manager, you have a presentation by Roar Media.
Yes.
Are you gonna do that now, or are you gonna do your report?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Roar Media, are they here?
Carolina, you have the floor. I believe you're muted.
Yes, Thank you all. So nice to be here. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commission. Thank you, Mr. Manager, for the opportunity to present a few updates to you all today. So I'm just going to be sharing my screen. One second. Okay. Okay, can you all see that?
We're ready when you are, Carol.
Amazing. Okay, great. I didn't know if they were shifting the screen. All right. So the first thing that I wanted to provide an update on was the Halloween event. As you all know, the Halloween event was extremely successful, as you see all of the smiling faces on the pictures that you see on screen. I wanted to take it a couple steps back to kind of understand how we got here. So on social media, we created a flyer that scaled to an invitation to the different audiences on social media. The mayor created a themed bingo night, which we thought really played into the hype of the Halloween event. And then we also worked with Chief Otley, who was a trooper, no pun intended, and came on camera and did a PSA for our residents just to stay safe. So we wanted to make sure that that was of utmost importance. You know, as much as we wanted to create this amazing hype for Halloween, we wanted to make sure that safety was of utmost importance. So these are just numbers on screen, but we just wanted you guys to take away that social media was buzzing with the haunted house. You had your impressions spiked. You had a lot of people sharing and liking. So just a lot of positive feedback from the haunted house. Chief Otley's video actually received more, I think, video views than we had seen in some time. So many props to Chief Otley for a great video and for making himself available to that. We know he's very, very busy. And like I mentioned, there was a lot of user-generated content that came from that where, you know, Opa-lockans were saying how excited they were to be there. They tagged us. There was one in particular that we thought was really, really fun. She was just so proud of her city. So we just wanted to share it with you all.
Artemis Rabbit Baby. So I just came from a very nice vibe. A haunted house that was put on by my city where I resided for a very long time. The city of Opa-locka, Florida. So big props to them. Okay, I've always heard about their haunted house being good. I never went. So this time, me and my little crew, my little nephews and stuff, or one of my honorary nephews, we went out there. I was scary. I ain't gonna lie, I got lost. Auntie got lost in the middle of the.
So you all may know her. She's an local Opa-locka. She's an artist. She goes by Artemis. She has a lot of followers, so it's a lot of positive, you know, reinforcement for the city and all of the amazing things that you all are doing. Sorry about that. All right, public relations. So reporter Chelsea Jones, she reported on Opa-locka as one of the great places to go for Halloween. It was part of her things to do on Halloween in South Florida roundup. I quote, in Opa-locka, the city put on its annual haunted house, the longest running haunted house by a municipality, according to city officials. They report at least 500 people in attendance. So not only did you have a lot of positive engagement on social media that went beyond your followers, people were sharing, so our followers went up. You also had positive attention in the media. So lots of great things coming from the Halloween event. We hope that you guys continue to do it. And then here's just a quick creative sample of something that we did for the Parks and Recreation Department, who requested a printed flyer. So then moving on, the second point for today, the second update is the very exciting news of the relaunch of the Opa-locka newsletter. We're so very proud of getting to this point. We think it's a super important resource and tool for the community. The newsletter is named The Lamp. We know that this has historic significance for the city, and we just felt it very much reflected what we're trying to do with the newsletter, which is just shine positive light on all of the developments that are happening in the city and just really shine a light on all of those items. What is the mission of the newsletter? We want to ensure that we bridge the gap between the government, the Opa-locka government, and the community. We want to provide vital updates, news, city developments to residents and business owners, and really just foster transparency, trust, and a stronger sense of unity. And we want it to be two-way communication, right? Every newsletter has an opportunity for the reader to reach out to the city for concerns, questions, and just to share ideas as they have them. So the newsletter, as we know, launched in October. I'm going to be going through the sections really quick so that you all know what to expect if questions come about the newsletter, how to sign up for the newsletter, how to be a part of the newsletter. We want to make sure that you, Commissioner, are well informed so that you can share the wealth and be ambassadors for the newsletter. So the first section is in this issue where we hear from the desk of the mayor. This will provide a quick highlight of what the reader can expect for the newsletter that month. We always have a Commissioner Connect section where we highlight, obviously, the Vice Mayor and the Commission as opportunities to get to know them and also to engage with them, how to connect with them. There will always be a list of confirmed city events. These will all be linked to that See More button that you see down there in yellow. That will link the reader to the website where they can find flyers, registration links, and anything important to know for these events. We want to make sure that there's now 3 places for events to be learned. Which is the social media channels, of course, the website, and now the newsletter. Oh, and I apologize. We also mentioned here that there's always a commission meeting, of course, on the agenda. So we wanted to make sure that readers understood not only how to attend, but how to attend virtually, and also if they wanted to be part of the Citizens Forum, how to do so. This is the meat and potatoes of the newsletter. It's the shine a light section. This is really where we can, inform the community about key updates, important department improvements, any key initiatives, special events, anything that we really want to inform the community, all, sort of with the intent of, how to better serve them as both residents and business owners. So here's an opportunity to hear both from the city manager's office, from the departments, and from the commission on what's important, and we just really have an opportunity to share that with the community. An important thing to note here is that it doesn't stop here. So there is a button in this section that will always link people to the website. We have a new section of the website. I'm not sure if you all have seen it. And there's one subsection called Your City at Work. So they'll read it first in the newsletter, and then they can sort of make their way to the website and kind of see if there's been any updates or any news about these particular topics. And that'll be updated as we get information from the city. Another section of the newsletter is City Corner. It allows us to kind of hone in on a specific either event or initiative. In the inaugural newsletter last month, we highlighted the career fair and directed readers to the website where they, were able to view all of the open positions available and sign and apply online. And then at the very end, you'll see we want to hear from you. So we want to make sure that at the end of every newsletter, there's a call to action to the reader that says, if you've seen something that you've liked here, if you have any concerns about something that you've read or have any ideas, reach out to us. And then the last thing is we have a new section coming soon. It's called Police Points. It's a dedicated section for the PD. It's an opportunity for the Opa-locka Police Department to share important notices, developments, tips for the community. So that'll be seen in the November launch. So how do we market the newsletter and how do we get people to sign up? So every month that the newsletter launches, we will launch a video like this. Where you see a quick snapshot of the newsletter coming into your inbox and a reminder, if you haven't already signed up, to sign up. On social media, there'll be a link directing people to the Notify Me page of your website, which if you've seen it lately, has been updated. One second, if I can just get to the next. Okay, so once you get that video in your social media feed, it'll tell you how to sign up. It'll direct you to Notify Me. And now in Notify Me, there's a section specifically for the newsletter. So if you want to sign up for the newsletter email database, you click there, add your email. We check it monthly. So if there's any new subscribers monthly, we'll make sure to add it to the email deployment list. And then another interesting thing is that now on the website, there is a newsletter section. So let's say you've signed up in January, but now you've missed October, November, December. These will all be archived here for you so you can read past newsletters. You'll see October is already there since we deployed it last month. And last, just a few numbers to leave you with. The October newsletter did very well. 67% of the people who received it in their email inbox opened it, which is above industry standards. So we're really proud of the newsletter and how it's performing. As the database and emails continue to grow, we'll continue to monitor these numbers to make sure that, you know, people are liking it, they're reading it, and really what they have to say about it. You know, we want to make sure that there's open communication, that we have input, as this is for the community. So we want to make sure that it's made for them, and it's made in a reflection of them. So that is all I have for you all today. Any questions on Halloween or the newsletter?
All right, any questions to Ms. Carolina about what you said, Halloween or the newsletter?
Just to say thank you, not a question, just thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Williams?
thank you. Great job on the presentation. I think I did have a question though. For the newsletter, and maybe this is for the manager and not Carolina. Is there, my assumption, and I know I typically don't try to assume because you know what happens when you assume, but my assumption is that there will also be a soft copy. I would like to see at least, if anything, our seniors receive, a hard copy. So far, all of this is just digital, which is great, but and so maybe that should have been a question that I asked from the very beginning, because my assumption was that the newsletter was going to be sent out and not all digital. So now that I see that it's all digital, what's the next moving forward?
All right, so I
steps?
did, thank you, through the mayor to Commissioner Williams, I did announce that we were going to start digital first. It takes a significant amount of time, and we also want to get in place your PR coordinator and event planner to kind of assist, because there are going to be sections in there that the commission is going to speak to your events, what your vision is for the city and some of your goals. And it's also a very time consuming and expensive undertaking. So we wanted to get the residents, familiarized first, get the commission familiarized with getting this information, since it's going to turn around time of just 30 days. And then we're looking forward to selecting a vendor to then start a paper copy. Yes.
Okay, so is there no way that that our seniors can be the first on that group to receive a paper copy? Like, the reality of it is I know I saw 63% opened the email, but I'm curious to know how many people received it, because there's no listserv. I don't know how much what is that listserv? We go to these events, we're not seeing hey, let me get your email address so that we can add it to our constant contact. So I'm curious to know, I don't know, Carolina, can you let me know how many people, or we don't know that receive it, or they have to go to the website and then open it?
Yeah, so I can sort of speak to that, of course. So right now, so the way that it works is when you deploy an email, you have to have the person's consent. So they needed to have agreed to receive a newsletter, and the only email database that we currently have that has that consent is the clerk's office list. So it's a very targeted list. I'll bet it's small. So we're trying to grow that list, but at least it has people's consent to receive it. So with the social media work that we're doing, which is supported by a paid campaign, right? So that video that you saw, like sign up to the newsletter, that's being supported by a paid campaign so that we can get to lots of people, maximum exposure and reach, and grow that database, to your point. Because right now it's obviously it's a smaller list that we're trying to grow.
So do you have an idea of what that number is, that list?
Sure, I believe I can pull up, and I believe it's less than 100. I believe I can share those numbers with you offline.
So the question is, are we touching and are we reaching? And the answer clearly is no. So I don't know. I mean, something has to happen that we're touching and reaching the expanse of the city. And I think by and large, that was the initial onset goal of why we chose to bring on a PR firm. And here we are, I don't know, it's been a year or maybe more, and we haven't, the touching and the reaching is still not there. I love the newsletter idea. We've talked about the newsletter idea. Former, past, present commissioners have talked about newsletter. I would have I don't even care if it was done on publisher, throwback program, in black and white, mailed out to our residents. Just something needs to be mailed. And so I don't know what we need to do. Maybe we need to take a look at amend the budget so that we can find the money to do this. You're saying no?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
You're saying no to mail?
Yes, that would be a $200,000 undertaking at minimum.
To mail to mail a piece of paper to all the residents?
To 16,000 residents monthly? Yes.
No, I didn't say anything about monthly.
Just one
I
time?
didn't say monthly. It could have been quarterly, or we could have flushed through that. I didn't even say how long. I just said it could have been once a year, at least something that there's tangible that, you know, a resident can prop up on their kitchen, on their refrigerator with a magnet that says these are meetings, these are phone numbers, these are pertinent information, this is staff, this is, like, right now you have to go to the website to do that. But I'm just speaking
we'll bring those numbers back.
Those seniors are not doing that, and they're not going to do that, and they don't know how. So why is this just a difficult undertaking to do?
Cost. As I stated before, we're deploying this item first digitally to get a format down, which is a very long and expensive undertaking in and of itself. Then we're trying to find a vendor that can transfer it to a paper publication, which there will be a limited copy that we will deploy, not mail, but deploy at businesses where residents can go to certain businesses to pick up their paper copy. But right now we do not, unless the commission, it'd be the will of the commission, which absolutely we'll bring those numbers back, have the financial resources to mail a newsletter out to all of our residents.
I mean, we had the financial resources to pay Roar Media a lot of money.
Actually, for the record, the last previous company that we paid $222,000 a year, and Roar Media is actually doing twice the services at half that cost, at about $100-something thousand a year.
Well, so maybe what we need to do is pivot and look at what we're doing when it comes to so quite frankly, what I'm hearing is two different things. The commission wants what we want, what we're saying, what we want, and we're saying want, and it's not happening. But then it's what the manager's office want with Roar Media. So
Absolutely.
What we're not getting is the things that we're asking for.
Absolutely not. As I stated at the beginning of this process, we're going to deploy this digitally first and then move it out in the paper copy. That has always been the statement, that's always been the position. This is not the will of Roar Media. This is not the will of the management office. You all provided us with a goal and a target, and we first budgeted for it. We brought it to you for approval, and now we're attempting to deploy and do the will of the commission. So the notion that this is just something that Roar came up with or that the manager's office came up with is just not accurate. We are trying to do within our budget the will of the commission. Now, if it also be the will of the commission to move in a different direction, we'll be willing to explore that as well.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm done, but 100 people got the newsletter. Great. Thank you.
Any other concerns or questions to the manager on this item? All right. Mr. Manager, the only thing I'm going to add, one, that you provide a timeline on the deployment of the physical copy, and in the interim, is it possible that you can print out the newsletter and at least put it at the parks and at City Hall?
Absolutely, that's a fantastic idea,
And
we
that
look
way,
forward to doing that.
And then and give us a timeline on, hey, we're gonna hire this person and we're going from there. And the pricing that you promised.
Yes, sir.
All right, anything else on your report?
No, sir.
Okay, any questions to the manager for his report? All right, I know, I want to go back to I'm going back to really quick, Mr. Manager, to the Glorietta Gardens.
Yes, sir.
The holdup is the consent agenda or the plans? Because I heard two different.
I just forwarded to
things.
you an email that I had shared, communication between my office and Jeff Stately, the asset manager. Also an email I forwarded to you between Mr. Aria Austin and their general contractor. He requested that Mr. Austin do an emergency approval of some issues that they were concerned about that need to be addressed immediately. Our office addressed that immediately. Mr. Austin came up with a plan. We have deployed one city employee that from Public Works that actually remains at Glorietta Gardens on a daily basis. Since Mr. Austin approved those plans, they have not moved forward. And Mr. Austin sends us an employee there every single day. So the notion that the city is somehow, I've also forwarded you emails where my office is requesting, when are we going to see, when are you going to apply for permits? When are you going to submit plans? We get complaints from the residents on a day-to-day basis saying that they make them promises, that they say that they blame the city. The city's holding us back. The city's the reason why you're living in this way. Let's be clear here. You can Google Mr. Jeff Staley and Glorietta Gardens, and you're going to see him making these same statements 10 years ago. So the notion that the city of Opa-locka is somehow responsible for those dire conditions there, documented dire conditions, photographed dire conditions, rat infestation, mold infestation, snake infestation, raw sewage leaking out of the sinks, raw sewage leaking out of the first floor drainage systems, flooding, and caved in roofs. And those things didn't happen overnight. The city of Opa-locka, with our commission, we must stand firm together against this notion that the city of Opa-locka is responsible for the conditions that Glorietta Gardens has our residents in. And I want to be in unison with the commission. I want to be united with the commission on that. You have emails now where we have done everything we can to try to mobilize Glorietta Gardens to move forward. This has been a problem landlord in the city of Opa-locka. And I don't want this commission to get hoodwinked by this notion that all of a sudden that there's these wonderful, great actors and it's your city administration that's stopping them. We've offered them, which would have to be approved by commission, of course, in that very consent agreement. We offered them a $300,000 discount on their citation. To my understanding, that's never been done in the history of city of Opa-locka if it would be approved by the commission. A $300,000 discount on their citation. So, and I don't think that's anything that any previous city manager has always offered them. So I've extended the olive branch. I've been available. My staff has been available. We have employees out there. We provided them with support. Our community policing department meets with the residents. I would say at least 50 of the residents have my personal cell number. They contact me. Miss Brady, when she was replaced Phil Thrawn, she asked that I forward those complaints to her. I've been in compliant with her with that. When a resident calls me, I say, this is the resident's concern, and have submitted that to her 3 times this week. So from my perspective, reporting from my office to you, the commission, there is little more that the city of Opa-locka can do to bring these people into compliance.
So the plans that you forwarded us. Okay, so so they have not applied for the permits? Because I'm a little confused because she said that she did, but we haven't given them.
They have not applied. And just this week we requested, and I'll let Mr. Austin come up to detail that conversation. But just this week I requested a status and update. I asked for him to circle back to find out when we were going to get something that they're that we can approve for them to move forward. And I was told by Mr. Austin that he doesn't have anything and that he was told that the general contractor would have something to him, I believe, by close of business tomorrow.
Okay, so based on the city's code and laws, is a consent agreement needed or the plans needed for the permit? That was my initial question.
Perfect question, sir, and I apologize if I didn't answer. They're stating that their issues rise to the level of emergency. So that's health, life, and safety. So assuming that is the case, there is a process by which we would just accept their plans and move them forward, of course, with the permission of the commission, to not require that they pay all their bills to the city. And that's what they said they had, and that's what we've been looking to do. They have not submitted those plans as of yet. So we're even willing to move forward without the consent agreement because they said it's an emergency, but we still don't have anything from them. So Mr. Austin?
Yes, about 2 weeks ago, the manager asked me to communicate with Glorietta Apartments on a contingent basis. We allowed them to move forward with their emergency condition by placing one of our employees on site to act as an interim permit on a parallel path. They were supposed to get a hold of the building department and submit a regular permit for the work that's being conducted on site. Yesterday, I received the email from the contractor on site that he's filled out the forms and he's working through the process of having the associates sign off and have the form notarized, and it should be back with us by Thursday morning. So we're still awaiting the form and the plans of what is being done at the complex right now. But they are still in the process of mitigating the perceived emergency on site, which is a sewage problem.
Okay, so the I think you said code enforcement person. Okay, because I'm a little confused. You said that you
We have
deployed a code enforcement person on public works
employee that is
individual.
knowledgeable on the sewer systems that they're working to repair.
So to stand as
To
what's their purpose?
To verify the work that is being done in compliance with our requirements.
Okay, we're not really confused. So have they started work or not started work?
They've started work, but it's far from complete.
So to be specifics, my understanding from Mr. Hall is that all they've done is dug where the canal is. So they have not actually started laying any of the pipe work, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that's been how many days?
A week and 3 days right now.
Yeah. Okay, so what would be the next steps? So they can or cannot work?
Yes, we're waiting for their plans.
The plans?
Yes.
Which you said you to receive Thursday morning.
Thursday morning, they said they were going to provide us with a completed document so it could go through the approval process in the building department.
And the drawing that you sent us, what is that?
That's the drawing of the area that they will be reconstructing, which is the sewer system. And that's the very same system that we are getting notices from Durham because that's not allowing one of our pump sewer stations to pass a moratorium that is on that station.
And this work directly impact, because we're all, just like you said, you're getting the calls, we're all getting the calls. And people just simply want to move back home. So this would not suffice, this drawing as a plan?
No, sir, and that's not even on the work that on Building 8. That's not even the work on Building 8. We have received nothing on Building 8, nothing.
That's solely for the sewage problem that they're having, the emergency condition.
So the emergency condition is that Building 8 was condemned by both the city and the county. Since that time, Building 4 and Building 7 have also started to have raw sewage issues. So that was their stated emergency condition. So I immediately said, submit what you have. Mr. Austin, look it over. Let's just put somebody out there so that we can stop raw sewage. We have residents in those buildings so that we can assist them with stopping raw sewage out into the thoroughfares. That's not something we wanted to get the news to get a hold of and that we wanted our residents living in. They said that they were ready to mobilize. Mr. Austin approved that for them to address buildings 4 and 7, and that was 2 weeks ago.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for the manager on this
Yeah,
issue?
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Williams?
I do. I think so we have someone from Public Works that's there.
Yes.
And I think where I'm not understanding is, so is that something that we generally always do?
No,
So why? Why do we have someone doing that?
this was an exception to allow them to mitigate the immediate emergency since Durham cited them as a nuisance sewer discharge. And we were trying to mitigate that condition since there's a lot of families involved.
And also, Commissioner Williams, to add to that, if we did not have that employee there to help with the process and facilitate them with Durham, Glorietta Gardens with Durham, with their Durham issue, then Durham would require them to come down, and that process could take months. So to assist them with getting mobilized, the city actually is paying an employee to oversee their work, to certify their work as they're willing to do it, so that Durham will be satisfied and allow them to continue to do this. Otherwise, Durham would shut them down and they would not be able to move forward.
In addition to that, the last time repairs of this magnitude were performed in Glorietta, we have $20,000 of damages to our pump station because it was improperly done.
But a few minutes ago, you said something about the pipes or the sewage. Is this going to impact us as a city eventually somewhere down the line if this process take place? I'm not.
It's currently impacting us by the fact that pump station number 7 failed this its 5-year flow testing because of the inflow and infiltration from the Glorietta Gardens apartments, because their collection system was in such disrepair, it was feeding groundwater into our collection system. And that's what's being.
Which subsequently is the flooding and all that stuff.
Which is responsible for the extra flows of sewage on the ground.
So it's a lot of, so I'm hearing the statement that was read, which some of it I have to say is a little laughable to make it seem as if this area was livable or it wasn't as bad as it was, or residents are saying that they want to, I mean, of course, I'm sure people are saying they want to come back home, but the statement that said they don't know why they left in the first place is absolutely ridiculous. So that tells me that whoever wrote that statement is not operating in fixed fact all the time, but there were some things in there. I guess my next question, the beginning of the statement talked about our city attorney not being a part of the process. My question is, was the city attorney a part of the process from the very beginning of this process?
So that's a question for the
I'm going to ask the city attorney.
No, I have not been a part of the process. I received the consent agreement or a draft copy of it a little less than 2 weeks ago when we were supposed to have that emergency meeting. I received it after 5 o'clock or right around 5 o'clock. I didn't even see it until the next day. I worked on it the same day that I reviewed it. And that's when I met with the manager and his staff and made a number of comments, spent the day on it actually, spoke with their attorney, and their attorney said that they expressed some frustration that they said they had actually had it prepared in some form like a month before. So I haven't been involved in this. I don't, I knew nothing other than a random email from time to time that I get. Not that I need to be, to tell you the truth, because until the consent agreement was sent, that's the only thing that I would normally be involved with, legal issues. So anything else, that's really management.
No, I understand. I think it's just it was stated in the letter that our manager was acting as if an esquire. And so that concerns me because so I'm here again saying, why aren't our legal team from start to finish involved to ensure that at every turn of the way, we don't leave any stone unturned? That statement was very jarring to me because it's there and it's written, and our city attorney just put on statement that she wasn't there. I'm going to bring legislation next time. I'm going to make a motion. I'm going to make a motion tonight. And I don't know if I can. You can let me know, Madam Attorney, if I can do this.
We did just talk about it at the last meeting. I don't advise it.
No, I meant about ensuring that the manager can, from start to finish of these things that can come back to bite us litigation wise, that you are a part of it from start to finish. And this is the thing that I want to make sure that we're doing. We resident with the gate, just all of this. So I don't know what I need to do. You could help me, but it's just, this is too much. This is telling me that there's potentially something that's going to come back and hurt the city. I don't know what it is. I may be here and not here, but it sounds like there's something going on here that we're not privy to. And unfortunately, our attorney, because she wasn't privy to it until the 9th hour, she can't even speak on it.
If you would allow me to work with you on that legislation, because I just want to be careful that I'm not stepping into anything that's management related, because we do legal. So consent agreements.
Well, you're getting consent agreements at the last minute.
Well, that's
Okay.
true. But those kind of things come to us. But, I just don't want the commission to think that I'm going to be walking over to Glorietta Gardens and in apartments and that kind of stuff.
It's fine.
All right. Thank you.
So I'd like to address that and also add and caution and some concern to that. Your city manager is listed as your chief negotiator. Absolutely. On all matters. In fact, there are state statutes that state exactly that. One is the negotiation of all union contracts and agreements. The state statute specifically says the city manager shall. So as you're crafting or considering this legislation, I just caution you to review and understand and duly note state statutes that place the city manager as your chief negotiator on administration operative matters like this.
Yeah, I just want to be clear on that, because I think the manager and I have a different understanding of the union negotiations. So I don't want to merge things with this, which is what he's talking about. And I think we have a different understanding of the statute. But to the extent that it deals with contracts and legal issues, those are things that I should still be involved in. And so I don't want to get things at the last minute. I don't want to have to, be in a position where I'm kind of looking like I'm blowing up something because from the very beginning it wasn't done properly or analyzed properly. I don't want to be in that position. So if it deals with legal issues, legal matters, I just ask that our office can be involved so that we can protect the city legally.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That is always the intent of my office. I'd like to say as an attorney myself from a top tier law school, that I have a strong understanding of that. And the moment that something has been memorialized, the moment that something has been memorialized to a written agreement, at my request, we have always immediately turned it over to the city attorney, and we do seek her guidance. We do, and if she wants to be involved at an earlier stage in that, I have no problem with that, none whatsoever.
So I'm gonna wrap it up. I heard you mentioned earlier with the mayor that there was no plans that were given, no drawings. And I know for a fact that if you're going to do anything, even if it's on your house, and you let me know, even if it's on your house, you have to turn in plans from, so those plans weren't turned in from
Based on the emergency condition, they did draft a sketch of the area that work is going to be conducted and the lineage of pipe that's gonna be linear footage of the pipe that will be replaced in their progress. That's as far as we got, and they were supposed to be on the parallel part, like I said, working on filling out the proper permit to have that work completed.
And Commissioner, you bring up a very, very important point that I'd like to state for the record. In reviewing this issue with Glorietta Gardens, I requested from Jeff Stately, the asset manager, what is the cost of previous work that had been done? They had received a grant of something about 15 million. He stated that they put $17 million of rehabilitation and work previously into Glorietta Gardens. I pulled the permit record, wanted to see all plans from Glorietta Gardens, and they never submitted any. That means they did millions and millions and millions of dollars of work without so much as submitting anything through building and licensing and submitting anything to public works. And I said to Jeff, I said, this explains all the damage to our system. I said, you're supposed to come to the city so we can tell you what our system is. We have, as Mr. Austin just stated, just recently looked at $20,000 in damages where they did work without a permit and damaged our lines. So this has not been a good actor working with the city. We've extended ourselves to them. Think about that. By their own admission, they did $17 million. No, even if it was half that, let's say if they did half that, because some say, I don't see $17 million of work back here. But even if they did half that, say if they did $8 million of work, there should have been with the history of City of Opa-locka, any city manager should have been able to see, okay, I see where you repaired this. Here's the plan for that. Here's the plan that was approved. They did all of this work back there and I understand now why Jeff was like, I've never had to do this before. This new city manager is imposing things that we're not required to do. As you said, Commissioner Williams, even when you're doing work on your house, you come to the city where you live and say, hey, I'm getting ready to change my toilet out. So the notion that the Glorietta Gardens has done millions of work and we don't have a previous plan shows you some of the challenge that we're facing with this landlord.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, I don't want to sound like Kelly tonight, but I cannot sit here and act like the Gardens Department, the Back Blues, Glorietta Gardens have been a stellar landlord. They haven't. Before I became in office, I got the calls. I know our family lived back there. I know the slumlord that they are. So to try to turn this all around and put it on the city of Opa-locka bothers me dearly, because we are the first sitting commission that has gone back there and tried to extend an olive branch to help those people. I received a call 2 weeks ago. The lady called me, say the rat was bigger than her foot, was chasing her. So there's still a lot of issues. I went in building 8, and I can tell you it was more than 4 apartments that had an issue. I went in building all the buildings, and everyone was, they said building 8 wasn't bad enough to be condemned. If I'm going to sit here and tell the truth, the whole complex should be condemned. The entire complex. We got building 8 out, but you get calls about all the other buildings. The lady wanted to send me a video of the hole where the rats go in, and I guess that's where they live. The tenants live at the bottom, the rats live at the top. They say all night long they're fighting in the walls and stuff like that. I get those calls. If I was the judge in this case, I would see to it that the owners of this building, my punishment to them would be that they live in each building for 6 weeks. Whatever gives them a whole year. They're not going to live like that. You can't take him from a mansion to I'm about to talk like I'm Natasha. Mm. No, sir. So I have a question. So the work that they're doing now is going to relieve the tension off of pump station 7.
Correct. Right now, we're receiving more groundwater than actual sewage.
Okay. And we have our guy back there to make sure that they're not bamboozling the work.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. As long as we get everything on, as long as we're doing what we supposed to do as a city to help the residents and to even help us, because we don't need anybody costing us money. Now, I love money. And if they cost us $20,000, did we send them a bill for $20,000?
Yes,
We're
we
in
did.
receipt of the bill and we're waiting payment.
Yes, we,
We're waiting a payment. And has that been a long time ago, or?
we've been working on this for about a year.
Because we need our money, because HUD checks come on the 1st. And if it's a holiday, you get it on the 30th or the 31st. So just like they get their money from HUD, the city of Opa-locka, when we want our money too. We want what's due to us. And I'm not fussing at you. I'm just talking. I'm just tired of the whole situation from a long time ago. This has been a long time ago. There's no disrespect to the manager. She just got there. And I can tell you that she has the potential to be a good manager. You know why? Because I've gotten calls on her from the residents. And when they told me what their issue was, I said, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. So when the residents are wrong, they're wrong. But in this situation, it's not even management, it's the owners. They got to do what they have to do. Don't switch the blame on us. We're not taking that. Thank you.
Okay. Only thing I'm gonna say, Mr. Manager, I just want a resolve. So next steps. And I actually that in the beginning of this, does the consent agreement need to be passed or the plans, but you said the plans in tandem with the consent agreement because that's what you all agreed on. So just, I want a resolve. That's all I'm asking. So
Understand.
maybe once you meet with Glorietta, just submit it to the commission, please.
Sir, we're waiting on Glorietta.
No, I'm
Okay.
not saying, I'm
Okay.
saying once you meet with Glorietta, submit that to the commission, the next steps. So
Okay.
whatever you all agree upon, then submit it to us so that we are in the know.
Yes, sir.
That's all.
Yes, sir. They stated that they will have something to Mr. Austin's office by close of business tomorrow. As soon as we receive that, we'll be in commission be in communication with the commission
All right, thank you.
and the city attorney's office.
All right, thank you. All right, any other concerns to the manager for his report? All right, we're going into the mayor and commission report. We can start right to left. Madam Vice Mayor, would you like to start?
Sure. I need to say this for the record. When I ran for office, my husband and we funded my campaign. And that was a reason that we did that, because I didn't want to be owned by residents. I didn't want to be owned by business owners. I wanted to be free to make the decisions that I wanted to make, not the decisions that people wanted me to make. So I'm not going to have residents come here and tell me about what they're going to do. If I do this or if I do that, I write my own tickets. I work very hard to be the woman that I am. And me being the woman that I am, if you know me, you already know that don't work. It don't work. So recall, do whatever. I'm fine with it, but I'm going to always do, when I'm sitting in this chair, what is right for this community. Not Natasha, not whomsoever, but for the community. Because I see very well, I hear very well, I understand very well. I don't need that. Every week it's a threat. I'm tired of it. I am my own woman. I dance to my own beat. I'm great. Now, on better news, the Halloween was fantastic. Our Halloween at the park was amazing. I actually believe it was one of the larger ones that we've had thus far. The turnout was, people just kept coming and coming and coming. I'm like, we were ready to stop at like 8:30 because there was no line. It was like, no, you have a whole nother line out there. So we literally worked until we said 9 o'clock. We were there till 9 o'clock working. The manager did not get my speech that if you hit any of the workers, you're going to be escorted off the premises by the police. And he got a little spooked and wind up bumping into one of the workers there. But it was very nice. It was very nice. Parks and Rec, you guys, Booster Club, we did our thing, I have to say. Now, I have to also say that because of Commissioner Williams, we are going to implement a not so scary Halloween for the kids that are under 10 and the adults that need to be assisted as well. So we're working on that for next year, not so scary Halloween. So that so that Commissioner Williams could, attend and be okay with it. And are you gonna mention that bingo is Thursday? Okay. I am so excited. I should be home right now. I am so excited about bingo for tomorrow. It's Thursday because Friday is the holiday. We're closed, I think the city is. So please come out tomorrow. Bingo. It's going to start from 6 to 9. I waited for you to say, oh my God, that's what they do.
I actually do it.
We're going to have a really nice dinner, kind of like a Thanksgiving dinner for our seniors and for our community, not just our seniors, for our community. And I hope to see you all at bingo. Did something else happen? Okay, that's all. I've said enough. Thank you.
No problem. Commissioner Bass.
I just want you all to know that I was at a meeting for Dade County Public Schools, and this lady came to me telling me about our bingo. And I said, "Do you live in Opa-locka?" She said, "No." I said, "Well, we're gonna find a way to have you guys not to come to our bingo." I did. I said that to her. With all that and she bragged about everything that we give out. So I'm like, no, that's for our people.
Mighty God, they say we get better gifts.
Where am I? Okay, I just want to put in your hearing on Thursday, November 16th, we will be having our 3rd annual Night of Thanksgiving, sponsored by myself and of course my colleagues. And we are also asking if anyone would like to participate via song, dance, spoken word. You're more than welcome to contact our clerk's office, and we will add it to our lineup for that evening. And I would like to ask the manager if he doesn't mind making the announcement for the veterans event.
Oh, absolutely. We are very, very excited. We are a city of residents and staff that have served this country and served this country well. I am a veteran of the United States Army 82nd Airborne Division. Hoorah. Your chief of police is also a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. But we don't hold that against him. He did serve his country. And we have so many other veterans that are part of our, I also come from the Miami VA. So we're very, very excited to put together a very, very special event for our veterans this Saturday. We're going to be bringing in the veterans from the Miami VA, open up the veterans of our community to honor them, to serve them. Again, if you would like to participate, we welcome you. This is something that we as a community, we as a people have been in service for a long time for this country, that this country has benefited. And this is a time for us to honor those that have given back. And some of them have given of their families and times of so much. So we welcome you to come to this event this coming Saturday here in the city of Opa-locka, Veterans Day event at Sherbundi.
Commissioner Williams?
I don't have anything to say other than thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Bass, for spearheading the Veterans Day event. One of my absolute most favorite uncles was a vet in the Army, had been there forever, and so appreciative of him being a patriarch of my family. So we know that and also, you know, we have JROTCs in high schools and those you know, service areas that actually build the future generation. So thank you, Commissioner Bass, for that. I will be here. I will be at bingo. So we need to hurry up and let Vice Mayor go finish cooking. I want to just personally thank Parks and Rec, Booster Club, everyone, City of Opa-locka for a wonderful. That was a haunted house that people should have paid for. Like that was a paid for haunted house. And so the fact that we do this every year, we do it for free for our residents, somewhere safe for our community to go to, was absolutely amazing. Jalen was there, Zed the zombie was there. And yes, Vice Mayor, 10 and under should not go in that haunted house ever again. But it was spectacular because every time where we turn, it was another foolishness. So, but it was absolutely, and I just thank you all. And I keep saying thank you for the events, but you know, we put our face on flyers, but it takes a village. It takes so many people to create and make these things happen. So to all the unsung heroes, just want to say thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I just want to say, as it relates to the veterans event, that was put together not by myself. The manager's office, the police department. I had my 2 cents, as well as code enforcement, Ms. Wilcox. And we got to give the roses while we live. This would not happen had it not been for those who are names I have called. Thank you.
No problem. Mr. Manager, do we have an update on the financial oversight?
Absolutely. Yes, sir, we do. Myself, Assistant City Manager, Ms. Lawson, and Finance Director, Naomi Walker, we had the opportunity to meet with the JLAG team yesterday. We're hoping to do it on a monthly basis. Well, we were planning to do it on a monthly basis. I'm hoping to increase that to every 2 weeks or at least twice a month until February. They were very excited that we have been able to get more bodies into our finance department. They were pleased to know about the hiring that we've done and that we're continuing to do. They received the update on the dates. We let them know that it's been an ongoing discussion that we were that we are looking to move the financial reports over to Markham at the latest would be the 1st of December, at the very latest. That would be the 1st of December. We are on track to probably get those financial reports probably to them sooner. And if you have any specific questions about that, I have Mrs. Walker here to answer those. And from there, Markham can take up to 6 weeks. So we're looking at end of January, 1st of February timeframe for the issuance of the final reports. They were pleased with those dates. They were comfortable with those dates and numbers. And they also let us know that session is going to be starting early and would like to know if we would be able to come to meet with them the first week of December. So I'd like to reach out to the mayor. Doesn't look like those dates are working for him. So I'd like to work with your office to go up there and have another visit and just do a face-to-face with them. They had promised us some things, and they still seem, at least from their perspective, supportive.
Okay. All right. Any questions to the manager as it relates to the financial oversight? Okay. We're getting ready to adjourn, but I do want to say to my colleagues, thank you all for your hard work and dedication and the events that you put on, the blood, sweat, and tears. And this is a thankless job. And as Vice Mayor always say, we do it for free. But, and also shout out to our staff and our staff, department heads, our charter officers and your assistants for ensuring that the city stays afloat. And hey, like Chief said, Rome wasn't built in a day, but we're gonna get there. So we thank our residents for their patience. Do we have any appointments for our boards? No appointments. So we can motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor?
I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Before we do motion to adjourn, because the
How
clerk
could
gonna
you
kill me.
forget?
I forgot because Vice Mayor, I'm surprised she said nothing. All right, so Madam Attorney, I want to make a motion to cancel the meeting because that is Thanksgiving, which is the 22nd. So how does and then also I believe there is another meeting in December. So do we need to bring legislation for that? That would be the
when is your
13th
next
and the 27th. I mean, the 27th is the meeting in December, if I'm not mistaken.
Madam Clerk, when is your next
November
meeting?
22nd and December 27th.
Those
Okay.
would be the next two meetings. So November 22nd, that's 2 weeks from now, right? So we have a regular meeting.
So we will have a regular meeting, the first meeting in December, which is December 13th. That would be if we cancel the second meeting in November.
Okay,
Our
so
next
so you're
regular meeting
asking
will
if
be
you can do
December
that now.
13th.
You can do it now.
No,
Again,
what I'm asking, well, yes, that's the motion on the floor. And then I'll wait for a second. But I'm asking, do we need to bring legislation to cancel both? So ratify the 22nd and then cancel the 27th.
you don't need to ratify it, but if we know that when we do have the next meeting, there's another meeting after that we're going to cancel, it's always better to bring legislation for that, for whatever the item is.
Perfect.
But you can do it with legally tonight, cancel the next meeting if that's what the commission chooses to do.
Well, I'm sure all of them are going to second it. So I'm going to make a motion to cancel the November 22nd meeting, which means, Mr. Manager, no special meetings. So no workshops, no special so whatever y'all, please, because I'm gonna say no.
Me too. No,
13th.
I
The
gave y'all the
13th.
whole month of
The
August. Nope.
13th. So that's my motion.
I'm gonna second the motion. And if anyone dares, Ms. Flores, to put a meeting between the 20th and the 24th, I'm telling you right now, my answer is no. I will not be here.
Don't leave Maya out.
And you will not
She's
have
still
a
down
quorum.
Maya.
No workshops, no special meetings. Yeah. So I see y'all on the 13th. So it was moved by Mayor Taylor, second by Commissioner Williams. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes, definitely.
Commissioner Bass. Vice Mayor Irvin.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Taylor.
Absolutely, yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Williams, second
Second.
by Vice Mayor. This meeting is adjourned. Have a great night.